that, getting hit multiple times. Coming out of that bike section, more drivers coming to blows.
Hello and welcome to the Formula Ford Weekend Warriors on Slow Motion Broadcasting. We are bringing you Season 2, 2026, Round 1. I am here with Charles Boshell and Guido Marzucchi in the production hauler today. And we're doing Round 1, guys. It's going to be a pretty awesome one here, I think, around Summit Point. Awesome track, super hustly, super fast. I think we've always had amazing races around here, especially in these cars. Going to be a bit of a special challenge in these Formula Ford cars today. Super fast, really hard to control around one lap, even just getting one lap here in qualifying as we're joining them here. Not an easy thing to do. Get out there and execute that lap. I think today's going to be a lot about decision making, getting things right. Jake R. Williams leading us right now so far. Jason Chen just behind him, and our first Masters driver of Jorg Mani in third overall, first in Masters. Got to look pretty far down to Paul Jackson there in 15th for our first S2 driver, Charles. But I think today is going to be a bit of a battle out there, isn't it? We've all been here many times, and I think these drivers are ready to race. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. This is it's almost like this track was built for SCCA racing. It's just the races that we do here in the Weekend Warriors with the Formula Vs, the Formula Fords, the spec racers, as well as our group of drivers, just produces some amazing racing here at Summit Point. I'm just absolutely, excited to be doing this race today. And looking forward to it. It's going to be one of those that, we've already got 15 cars within a second of pole. This track is going to keep these cars pretty tight unless we get into some major issues with crashes. But for clean race, we're going to have a big battle at the end. I'm just kind of looking forward to that. And really excited about doing the broadcast today.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we want to mention, we can only put these broadcasts on with drivers and viewers like you out there. Today's race being brought to you by us here at Slow Motion Broadcasting. We love the Weekend Warriors. We love the drivers. We absolutely love putting these shows on. I know I can speak for you guys when I say that. And today we decided to put round 1 of FF and SRF on us, and that's just a gift basically to you guys, and hopefully we can drum up a little bit of interest here and get some sponsorship for the rest of the season. It would really be a shame to lose this awesome show here and watching these drivers drive around. So if you're out there watching this and you feel like donating some money towards the Weekend Warriors here so we can keep this going, we'll have some links in the chat. We'll continue to talk about it here during the race here as well. So thanks to everyone out there who does sponsor us. We can't do it without you. And we'll get back to some racing here as we see somebody taking that just huge. I've ended up in that sand trap probably every time I've raced here, and I bet you it's going to happen a couple times today, isn't it?
Yeah, it really will. It's just such a fast corner, and it's so easy to get it wrong, especially when you're battling too wide. You end up in that sand quite frequently. I've done it myself as well as much as I've raced here, so it doesn't matter. It's just one of those corners that it's just easy to get it wrong. It's very precise, and this is just one of those racetracks itself. It's a very technical track. It doesn't look like much, but we're going to do an onboard lap here with Mr. Jim Brewster, one of the admins with the Weekend Warriors here, as we make our run down. Nice drafting, hard braking zone into turn 1. Jim nicely just kind of getting a little bit of pull off those 4 cars in front. If you see them guys trying to not step on each other's toes as they work their way through turn 2. As they're trying to get a good lap here without slowing each other down and without crashing each other. And there we go. There's the hard turn 3. As you see, one of the 3 didn't quite make it, or one of the 4, I should say, didn't quite make it off in the gravel. It's going to invalidate his lap as they make their way down here into turn 5. Very, very tight left-hander that's going to take you into a little bit of a technical section here. We got a little bit slower section, but very difficult to get the cars through as we're going through 6 and 7 here. And then around, and we're going to turn back into 8 and 9. One of the 8, 9, very important to get this right because you want a good exit out of this corner as you get your run down. I think Jim may have went a little wide there as they're making their way down the backstretch and into this final very fast right-hander. Get a good line through there, carry all your speed through, and that takes you back around to the start-finish straight. Pit exit there. Pit entry is going to be a little difficult today, but pit exit is fairly straightforward. Just got to be careful and keep an eye on the mirror as you're coming out. But there's a lap of Summit Point. Very quick lap, minute 15 to go around. So don't have it's very easy to make a mistake. But you get plenty of chances here in our qualifying session with 20 minutes to get a few good laps in.
Yeah, absolutely. Good track map there as well. This place, not very difficult, as you said. That section through 6, 7, 8, and 9, probably the most important section on the track, and it's really piff-paffy, kind of left, right, back to the left again, and you're leaning on the tire the whole time there, especially on that last part, and you really need to get, I believe it's 7 into 8 correct, and get that right, or you can lose all your time in there. I remember when I first started doing laps around here, let's say in my early iRacing days, that was definitely where I was losing all my time. And once you can kind of figure out that section, you can really get a lot of time there, as well as the final corner too. You really need to charge that final corner, get that line right, get that exit extended as much as you can to maximize that run down the front straight, which is probably going to be your best opportunity to make a pass here today. So looking at Jason Chen there quickly, he's actually taken over basically the reins here kind of the FF, so that's really great to see. He's helping kind of curate things a little bit. Hopefully we'll be talking to him more in the future here about FS. We'd, like you're saying in the run up there, would hate to lose it on the show here. Absolutely love these things, and watching them drive around here, honestly, it's making me jealous. I used to be out here in S2 and in S1, I think, for a little bit, and I love driving these cars. You know, they're never really settled. They never really kind of track in a straight line. They really do feel like they have some rubber underneath them in iRacing. Well, one of the better tire models, I think, on the cars, or better physics models, and they're just a blast. There was a change a little while ago in the physics some people weren't happy with, but I think we've all adapted to it by now, and we're having a blast with them for sure. Looking at Tortello here, our V Destroyer, destroying all the V races. This guy, man, he's a hard one to beat, isn't he, Charles? He ends up coming around on the Vs. You know, if he's behind you, he's probably going to be in front of you by checker.
Yeah, pretty much. That is Tor, and yeah, you know, it helps that you drive the car in real life, as Tor does.
Yep.
Very, very accomplished V racer in real life, and he's adapted very well. Young guy as well, so I'm sure he's probably put as much time in the sim as he has on the track, if not more. But then you've got Aeronom, who is a former champion in here, is a very, very accomplished Formula Ford racer in his own right. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. You know, a little clash of not necessarily skill levels, but maybe experience levels there, as we see Stevie Ray, the boss man himself, coming into the pits. It looks like he's all wrapped up on his qualifying run, going to be sitting there in 16th, and now we've got 17 cars within a second. Still opportunities for some of these cars toward a little further back to jump in there, as we do have Andrew Moran move up into 10th position. That was a move. He was already in that 1 second bubble. So we talk about that bubble periodically during these, because it's kind of that draft zone that you can get the toe off the car in front. Obviously, not as much toe available here at this track. We do have the two long straightaways, both the front straight as well as the straight prior to the front straight. So basically, you've got about a half and half mix of long drafting areas and then more technical sections. So it's interesting to see how these cars are going to react. And once again, yeah, I do remember the change in the suspension geometry was what they did a couple of seasons ago, and it did make the car, I think, a lot more stable. But it also it's a learning curve, so you have to adapt to it, and you know, and try and figure out what makes the car tick a little bit now. And but I think everybody's adapted to it well. I still think these drivers just get better week in and week out. As well, there was Zippy Salmon in a battle there with the was that the 59 car? Yeah, Jake Williams. It just made the move around in the lovely McLaren kind of paint scheme there with the papaya and blue over the black. So yeah, look at, you know, once again, we're just finishing up in qualifying, and looks like everybody's starting to wrap it up. If you're already on your lap, you can finish your lap. The guys that are crossing the start finish line are done. So we still see, and we see number 2 there launching Daniel Case, launching it out of the park. So you know, that's one we'll get here in qualifying. They'll all do it at the end of the race as they want to do. So
we got to set up a special camera for that, huh?
Exactly. If nothing else, if you don't want to stick around for the race, come back and watch the replay and just watch what happens after the checkered flag.
Pit lane.
As there's Jake trying to take a more rapid line than the 311 car wanted to do, and took it into the tire barrier. So as we see the rest of the cars now coming across, everybody should be finishing up here in the next 30 seconds or so. And that one, I think, is going to be too wide there for the 250 car. So I don't think he's going to get that time, as we see Aeronom coming through as well. So yeah, so wrapping up qualifying here, Josh, and we'll be looking at for the race days. It should be a pretty. Once again, we've been here enough to know that we're going to expect to see some very tight racing. Luckily, no weather as far as I know in the forecast for today. So a nice dry race. That'll make that looks like it's dry. Yep, as a 80-degree track temp. So yeah, this looks like really good conditions for these cars, and that's going to make the racing that much tighter, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. It's always really tight around here. I think, you know, the start and the first couple laps here are really going to be super key and important to try to keep your nose clean. It's going to be tough. There is a lot of FF race cars out there on this pretty small track, like you were saying. it's going to be a short pace lap here as well. So we're going to get to the grid right away here. I just lost my overlay and we're back. So we got Jake R. Williams starting in P1, Aaron Nom in second. In third, Mario Ras. Fourth, Jason Chen. Fifth, we have Jorg Mani. Caden Lasky will be in sixth. Daniel Case in seventh. In eighth, we have Antonio Reese. In ninth, Jackson Morley. And in 10th, we have Tortello. I'll pass the rest to you there, Charles.
All right. Andrew Moran starts in P11. David Lehman starting in P12. 13th is Alan DeGassis. 14th, Chris Murakami. P15 is Daniel Verone. Jim Brewster starts in 16th. Michael McConnell 17th. Stevie Ray starting at 18th. Paul Jackson 19th. Mark McConnell rounding out your top 20. Jimmy Litbacka starting in 21st. Michael Nelson in 22nd. Daniel Salmon starting in 23rd. Dustin Meaden starts in 24th. As we have Stephen Adams starting in 25th, Raphael Bali starting in 26th, Jeff Wubker 27th, Donald Calcutt starting in 28th, and Peter Maddox is rounding our 29-car grid, and we've done, they ain't even started yet.
Amazing. Yeah, we don't usually get them through that quick, but when the producer says you got a short pace lap, you got to kind of get snappy and get her done there. So we're done. We look at our beautiful race cars. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just because I'm a recent graduate of the Ron Mon School of Talking Fast.
Yeah, well, I think we both are. We've listened to Race and Ron Mons enough times here that we probably got that down pat. He is a bit of a pro when it comes to stuff like that. But looking at a beautiful line of FF race cars here, as well as that Porsche pace cars, just waiting here to get her started up. This is when you're kind of trying to figure out who's around you, make sure all your controls are good. Hopefully thinking about your pit stop, maybe not thinking too hard about it, and you've got it figured out. Usually me, I'm sitting there sweating about my pit stop right now going, oh crap, I didn't do any pit numbers. I don't know when I'm going to pit. I'm just going to try to flow this one, hope it happens. And it doesn't usually work out too well like that. But I think we're just about ready to go on our formation lap here, so we're going to get her going. What would you be thinking right now, Charles, in the car?
I don't know that I would be thinking pit stop. I would be thinking pit stop settings. I'd be making sure that my tires were turned off, that I didn't have a full tank of fuel going in, that I had at least a close number, and had that fast repair turned off. If you don't need to use it, turn it off. Save it in case something happens later. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about. And now that we're rolling, I'm thinking about, okay, let me find some open space to just get into the groove here, get in line and set up and see what happens from there. But you want to get through this first, not necessarily the first corner, but you want to get through this first lap cleanly.
Green flag.
Here we go. Green flag starting, and they're heading off with Jake Williams on the inside, Aaron Nom on the outside as they make their way down, heading into turn one for the first time, Josh.
Yeah, and it looks like we got a pretty good line of race cars here. Jake R. Williams going to lead Aaron Nom into T1. Everybody looking pretty clean here so far, getting a good shot of a lot of side-by-side racing into T1. Great job from all the FFs here through T1 so far. Here we go into that very difficult corner. You want to try to get line of stern through here. You generally don't want to go side-by-side through here, Charles, or you do end up in the kitty litter. I'm hearing suspension parts in the background. It looks like we're clean, though, so we are straight coming down into another really hard braking section here that you want to get right. This is a spot, honestly, that I would have been thinking about probably in sitting in the car waiting here is this braking period down into here, and it looks like we're going to get it all together. Stevie Ray and Daniel Salmon side by side through the technical parts there. We are line astern. Everybody lined up pretty close here, back and forth, and we're pretty clean here. We have almost cleared a whole lap. I don't want to jinx it quite yet, Charles, but it looks like we have cleared a whole lap with FFs here. 29 FF cars have made a clean lap. Side by side still with Daniel Salmon and Stevie Ray looking for some traction on the inside there, and he's going to hold it. These guys side by side, almost a quarter of the lap there. Pretty good stuff, and Jake R. Williams leading us so far.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm looking to the inside there. Is going to see if he can make the run down and this easy, hard braking zone here in the one. It's going to make that pass and take over P1 as we get looking through, and I'm hearing groans inside my headphones there, but I think everybody's okay. I will say that Peter Max did not take the start of the race. Donald Calcutt decided he was going to start for the pits, so not feeling comfortable with the car, said I'm just going to stay out of trouble and pit start. But we did have Paul Jackson fall to the back. So there's Stevie Ray around. Oh, there's some more traffic, more cars involved in that, and we're going to get a replay of that, I'm sure. And we'll get the incident reports here as we see Stevie Ray towing it back to the pits. Mark O'Connell falling back, Jimmy Litbacka falling back, Paul Jackson, who had fell back earlier, actually picked up a few spots. I think he made it through safely. We're going to get a replay here as we're making our run down into 3. And Stevie just carried too much speed, tried to give a little more in, and just nowhere for those cars to go, unfortunately, as you see the 95 Carvo Connell just basically T-boned Stevie there. And Stevie just lost it, unfortunately, for Stevie. First victim there, first death involved in that as we got Calcutt coming through. Is he going to just trip over this as he comes through, or is he still just losing on the outside there on the curb. So, you can see the reason maybe why he pit started. Not really comfortable in the car just yet. So, tried to stay in the back, but still ended up with a spin. I think it's towed back to the there's Paul Jackson into the back of another car. Could not see who that was. Maybe that was Bolly involved in that as well, as I see him. But could be wrong. We'll see as we're back to live action here. Aeronom still in the lead with Williams, Ross, Chin, Jorg Monty all sitting back there within a second of the leader.
Yeah, some incidents there. I'm unfortunately having some issues with my replay, so I can't really see what's going on there, but definitely had a little bit of attrition so far. Aeronom now leading in S1, Manny in Masters, and Veron is leading in S2, down in 16th place there. So closest battle for Masters is Antonio Reese, real close to Jorg Manny. So we do have a battle for P1 there in Masters. In S2, of course, Daniel Veron, Daniel Salmon. So the Daniels actually leading the FFs in S2 right now. But yeah, they're pretty close to each other there. They can definitely end up battling each other. But that's the closest ones we're going to have here. Jake Williams again looking into T1, looking fairly happy to be where they are at the moment. If they get scrobbling too hard, there is definitely a pack of race cars behind them to attack them for sure. So nobody's really given an inch here yet. Like, we're back to probably 12th or 13th place there, line astern. This is going to be a tough race. Lots of mental strength out there today to hold this one together.
I see some more dirt in the air, a little dust bomb as somebody went through. I think that was Lehman that fell back. But yeah, I was just going to say that we had like the top 15 cars that were basically within a second of the car in front and the car behind. So you had the nice little train starting to form. But I think Lehman maybe broke that up just a little bit as he ran wide through 3. And we did have Mark O'Connell come out of the pits just in front of this group as they came around to start this lap. And I think he's doing a pretty good job as he went back to the pits. That's what I'm hearing from Guido. So he is back out of the way. So no lap traffic to interfere here as we sit the 6th car of Ross looking down to the inside. Looks like he's wants to take over P1 for a lap or two and is able to successfully do that. And Jason Chen come with him. They were side by side there between him and Nom. And I think Jason just kind of maybe bullied him a little bit and moved up into P2.
Yeah, absolutely. Mario Rass, very fast race car driver here. Mario Rass, Jason Chan, Aeronom, Jake R. Williams, Andrew Moran. Those are some fast FF drivers up at the front here. This is going to be real interesting. You can see it starting to kind of shake out now. So, maybe a couple of them not getting the qualifying laps that they wanted to get at the likes of perhaps Andrew Moran, who we know is really fast and an excellent racecraft out there as well. Kane Lasky in that mix as well. Also very fast, very technical thinker in the car there. He will be there to play games for sure, probably till the end. There is actually a bit of a masterclass of drivers at the front here. Jorg Manny, Antonio Reese, Jackson Morley, Tortullo, Daniel Case, all race winners in their own classes and in their own cars. Pretty awesome stuff.
Okay, as all right, so
okay, 10-4.
Some technical information in our ear from Father Guido there. Unfortunately, you guys get to hear, you don't get to hear it. You just get to hear the panic after Guido gets done talking. So we'll resolve that in a few minutes, but still got that nice 11-car train up front. David Lehman is had it down within a second and kind of dropped back just a little bit. We'll see what happens is once these guys up front, as we always see, they start fighting. And the next thing you know, the pack gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's usually when trouble strikes. As we now have Jason Chen taking over the lead over Mario Ross, Aeronom in 3rd, as they're working their way through 6, 7. in through that complex there. You can see the little bit of a gap there. There's Lehman just behind Case. He is trying to close that gap down. Still 1.4 seconds, and it's going to make this tough. As long as these guys in front are willing to kind of stay in line, it's very difficult to make up that ground with such a big pack at the front. What I was going to say, Josh, earlier, I was thinking about this. This is kind of a weird. I'll say weird. It's not really weird. It's just kind of an interesting factoid that when we get on these short tracks that are really technical, it just seems like our experienced drivers in the Masters class are up there battling with the leaders. And it's
right.
just because they're just so good. And they've
age
been
and treachery.
so long. Yeah, old age and treachery. Exactly right.
Oh, no.
There, speaking of, we got some drama there. That was David Lehman.
Bummer.
I think Jim Brewster was involved in that as well. So drama there in the mid-pack. So we're going to get a replay here as we get it coming up, and we're going to get on
I can see this one.
Here. And this is, who are we riding with? Is this...
Looks like Brewster. Yep, that's Jim Brewster, and he's going to take a big jog up the inside there. Not exactly sure what was going on there. Maybe we can get an onboard with him eventually, but that was a little bit strange there that he decided, let's get this onboard. So he's having a look. He pulls out, and it's a little strange, honestly, that the drivers on the side aren't braking hard there, and I think maybe he got a little confused as to, okay, I'm going to make a pass here. Why all of a sudden am I passing 3 cars?
Yeah.
That was a little bit odd. That was a little bit odd. I don't think Jim meant to do that at all. I think maybe there was some bit of a shenanigans going on there, perhaps between the 2 cars, maybe wanting to stay behind each other. Jim getting caught out with a little bit of decision making there.
Yeah, and that is one of the things you see is these cars once they get in line, they'll like to do some fuel saving and just make that pit stop a little bit shorter when they go through. So maybe Jim was saying, hey, these guys are not really moving at top pace, so I think I'm going to try and go around, but just kind of got hung out to dry there. It was a bold move. I don't think it was anything outside the realm. It's not diving from, a second and a half back or anything like that, but he just made the move and he picked up 2 positions, and then the third guy was just there and is like, okay, now what?
Yeah, so, totally. Surprised them.
Yeah, absolutely. So tough break there for Jim and for David Lehman as well. As we're back to oh no, we got another one there.
The Angry Birds car, Tullo here tangling with the 92, trying to figure it out back and forth. A little bit awkward looking there. Yeah. Unfortunately, looks like they are going to get back rolling again without damage. We'll have a quick look here. So we definitely have a battle going on. A little bit of pressure being applied here to Tor from behind. And they're going to tangle in front, actually, with Antonio Reese with the 914 is going to tangle there. And then he's going to try to get that back right away, the 92. So that's 100% on the 92 in that one there. Maybe a little frazzled from the previous incident and unfortunately tangling again. It's a really good point you bring up, Charles, with the Masters drivers just always seemingly up near the front on the really hard technical stuff. And you're right. That's probably what it is, right? It's not all about necessarily your outright pace every single lap. It's about that. It's about that racecraft. It's about keeping the car on the track and plugging in those laps. And we have an Angry Bird upside down. That is Tullo on his roll hoop. We'll figure out how that one happened. But wow, Charles, looks like we got a bit of attrition going on here now. Paul Jackson in our shot.
Yeah, here we got Paul Jackson as we're looking here at the replays. We're headed down back into turn 1 again. This seems like the trouble zone here is the hard braking zone going down. And there's Jim Brewster off, and
we get another onboard maybe.
Checking up. So that's kind of weird that Jim was already off the track there. So I'm not really sure what happened as he's working his way down. We've got our slow car on the inside. Is this? All right. So, okay. So that was a late move by Jim, but I don't think we were in the braking zone yet because Tor was coming pretty much flat out at that point. But I think Jim may have saw. Yeah, I think Jim.
Oh, he tried to get out of the way, I think. It spooked him, for sure. Jim, I think maybe was having an issue or something, and then he sees him in his rearview mirror, and he just janked. Obviously, Jim's not trying to do that on purpose. No. And if he was, the stewards will be having a talk to him. But I think, honestly, that was, he's having an issue. Maybe he just had an issue with somebody frazzled. And I've done it before, actually, in a practice session where you're kind of dazed for a minute, and then you go, oh crap, I'm in the middle of the track, and you look up and you just make a move kind of instinctively, and I think that's what happened to Tor there, unfortunately, and Jim. But wow, huge crash nonetheless, and very uncharacteristic for both drivers.
Yeah, so absolutely. As we look, we've got some drivers that were involved that have already made their pit stop. So I think we're in the point at this point in the race that probably will be able to get to the end with no problem pitting now. So they're able to get their fast repair, get back out, and they'll pick up some positions just as attrition continues, as drivers come in and do their pit stop. Tortolo's still in the pits. I think he is probably done for the day. We see Lehman out there. Nelson, Morley were involved earlier. Wubker, I believe, was involved as well. I know Antonio Reese was. So they all went in, made their pit stop, and they're all, for the most part, with the exception of Tolo, back out on the track. So I think that we're on board here as we're still looking at the front here. And we've got 7 cars there in the front with Andrew Moran leading the race. So he's managed to pick up the lead over Jason Chen and Mario Roz and Aero Nam Yorgmani up there in 5th as carrying the banner there for the Masters drivers. And we've got Daniel Verone up to P9. So Verone doing a good job now leading in Spec 2. Has moved up into the top 10, just been able to avoid the early race carnage and find himself up in the top 10 as we get a nice battle here between Adams and Meaden. Paul Jackson just kind of in the back looking around as
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so Lehman car in front here, the Labatt car is actually a lapped car. We got Steven Adams, I believe, on our thing. Dustin Maiden just behind him. We should actually call out these two guys here, Steven Adams and Dustin Maiden, both new drivers, I believe, to the FF. I haven't seen them around. Maybe they've done a race or two, but new to me, so welcome into the FFs. They're doing pretty darn well right off the rip and almost in podium position and actually racing pretty good. You got Daniel Salmon, Steven Adams, Dustin Maiden, Raphael Bully, and Jimmy Letbacka. All fairly close to each other. There's a bit of a gap in between some of them, between Daniel, Salmon, and the rest there. But, back up front here, we are back and forth between Andrew Moran, Jason Chen, and Mario Ras. Jason Chen showing some serious pace. This guy used to be sort of my competitor. Me and him were just back and forth when I was racing in S2 a couple seasons ago. It looks to me as if he has found some speed out there. I don't know if I have a number for him anymore. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work. He's got to change that rookie on board paint for sure to something perhaps a little bit more S1-like in the next bit, because he certainly is no longer a rookie out there racing with the likes of Andrew Moran and Jason Chen. I should mention as well the 99 of Andrew Moran making his way up to the front here. He is up 10 positions with clean passes, all on merit. We saw him during the 48th running of the V runoffs. Him, I believe, and J.Car Williams just back and forth for almost 30 minutes straight in the rain, didn't make a mistake. It was just an awesome show of racecraft. So another big call out to Andrew Moran, clearly from the Almedia Racing Academy. They're doing some good jobs with their drivers. Andrew Moran absolutely killing it. 10 positions up in first. Would not be surprised to see him there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're just obviously doing a great job to move up 10 spots during the race. And not really anything going on at the front. We had a couple toward the back half of the front group there in around the teens area where we've had some issues. But for the most part, this little 7-car group up front is doing a great job. As we see, just is that Kane Lasky, I think, maybe just a little bit. No, he's in there. It's Daniel Case is the one that's the 8th car there. Is a little bit off the group here as we move down to the second pack. It starts with Daniel Verone. Contains Alan DeGassis, Chris Murakami, Michael McConnell, and Zippy Salmon. So nice little 5-car pack here. They'll be, I don't think they're going to be able to sneak up to the front of the field, so they'll be just trying to battle amongst themselves and see who's going to end up the first car in this group that is able to finish and get maximum points here as we're back to the front of the group. Moran's still hanging on. Jason Chen, I would agree. Rookie on board no more. He is up in the S1s, and that's not where rookies should be. So
he's performing very well.
Yeah, he
sure.
is indeed. It's been fun to watch his progression, and just does a great job. These Formula Fords.
I think he's always had the speed out there.
Yeah.
You know, he really has. Sorry to cut you off. He's always had the speed there. I've raced him many times, and we were back and forth, and he always had the speed, but making mistakes, making errors, kind of like myself. You know, just not able to get that really clean, just squeaky clean race and get that racecraft right. Perhaps getting a little bit too aggressive early, and so on. Jason Chen was before, and now very clearly happy where he is. He's back and forth with the drivers in front of him and doing a great job. Daniel Veron here, leader of S2 in the 272, also doing a great job out there. Nice clean driving, super smooth. Looks like he's picking good lines in the white 272 car here, keeping it nice and clean. Good lap times. He is looking about 2-3 seconds ahead of any competition, and a couple cars in between that before Daniel Salmon as well. So all he really has to do here is just kind of plug in laps, keep his laps going that he knows how to put down, and he should be able to come out with a win today. So great one for Daniel Veron. Daniel Salmon probably going to take second in that class, but who knows? Steven Adams right behind him. It looks like, whoa, we got a battle going on here. I was looking over at my timing tower. Kane Lasky getting, what place is he in now? Up into 5th place. Always watching him for sure. Jake R. Williams, I'd keep an eye on him for the end as well. Probably looking to go forward.
Oh yeah, for sure. As you know, we're getting to the point. We're almost at the halfway point of the race. As these cars are still hustling around through the technical section. There, we're going to get a replay here of this Jimmy Litbacka as running his way down. The car looks like it might be having issues, and so now in the grass, finding the bumps, and I think he is going to get it pulled off, and he's going to reset and get going again. So he's going to try and hang on to it, but that car definitely doesn't look like it's handling very well. Kind of looks like it may be crabbing just a little bit, as he is struggling to hang on there. Obviously the fastest part of the track, and just couldn't not quite keep it headed in the proper direction. And then once, you know, the bumps are easy to see when you're on the track because you've ran it about 1,000 times. But when you get off in the grass, not necessarily so much. As Mario Ross now sets the fastest lap of the race, as we are continuing to watch this battle up at the front. And we've got a little bit of a gap there between Aaron Naum and Jake Williams, who has now made his way around Kane Lasky to pick up P5. Lasky doing a good job there, hanging on in 6th, Jorg Monty in 7th. That's still 7-car battle up front. A small gap of about a second between the top 4 and the second 3, but that'll close up, I think, as we continue on, as Jake continues to hammer out the pace. As we got now on board there on Antonio Reese, who has fallen back. It looks like he is not quite a lap down, but he's obviously a lot further down than he was, obviously, with the incident earlier. Moran back up front. Ross looking to the inside, not really going to try and make a move there, I don't think, as we work our way around into the final corner and out. Everybody just carrying that speed quite nicely as we see this front 4. Looks like it's trying to check out and get away from that second 3, but then Ross is going to come in and try and take over P1, and does, and gets it done before the corner. So that actually won't hurt them as far as their times are concerned. That's still going to make it a little more difficult, but Jake Williams, being the Pied Piper there of that second group, is going to string it together and finally get those cars back up to the lead group. We'll be back up 7 cars as we're just a little bit past halfway. And so now the frame of mindsets changes a little bit from, okay, it's about time for the pit stop, and that's where you turn all this hard work into points and podiums. So we'll see what happens as these cars come around, and see who's going to be the first car to blink and come into the pits.
Yeah, we're definitely nearing that time. I believe the pit open window opens around 15 to around 25 minutes-ish, maybe 30 if you can really push it on certain tracks in these cars, and that's going to be on their mind right now. You know, it's a really good sign when you're seeing almost every lap a fast lap getting clicked off. That's a really good sign that the front pack of 3 or 4 drivers there are doing a very good job of staying out of each other's way and being fast, as we saw. We're going to see again here. Andrew Moran is going to pull out to the outside, and Mario Rash is most likely going to facilitate this pass, and that basically means just breathe on the throttle very briefly for a second, let him go. Jason Chen, though, decides to fight it, so he's going to fight it into T1. He wants that front position, wants to show that he's got some speed today. And what that does is slow the whole pack down. As you can see, we've got a little bit slower through that section than we did before. We didn't click off our fast lap, and we won't this time because of that corner, but still looking very clean there. So again, really nice move from Jason. Not the fastest way to get the entire pack around the track, but also kind of stomping your foot on the ground and going, listen guys, I'm here in the 25 and I'm going to be here for the end of the race. Don't think that you and Mario Ras are just going to go back and forth this whole time. He's going to throw himself in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. As that little battle was enough to Jake Williams had already jumped up into that lead group, but that little battle that at the front there was just enough to allow Lasky and York Monty to hook themselves on as well. So now we're back to that 7-car lead group with Daniel Case just about 1.8 back. So the more these guys up front fight, the easier it's going to be for Case to join that and make it an 8-car group as well. So we'll keep an eye out here as Moran has got himself a nice run. He's not going to be challenged into the corner this time. However, Ross is going to look to the inside and get around his way around Jason Chin. Aeronam looked to try and do it as well, not able to get enough pace down the front straight in order to make that pass. As we're going to get on board here with, I believe that's Jimmy Lipback again in the classic was that classic McLaren livery with the Marlboro sponsorship, is just into the grass there and loses the rear of the car. So easy to do there. You're trying to open the corners up, and just sometimes you'll go a little wide. And he felt like laying on the brakes and getting the car stopped is the easiest way to fix that situation. So that's what he did. He's back rolling again, as we now got pit stop starting with Meaden and Bali coming into the pits.
Yeah, so we have our first pit stoppers here. Looks like, I don't know if these guys are going to go around again. They probably will. This is going to be a little bit of a tenuous pit stop here for the lead drivers. The pit entrance around here is very much tacked on. It feels very tacked on. There's basically just a hole in the wall, and you just duck into it really quick, and bam, you're in the pit lane. And it's pretty abrupt and hard to line up, especially if there's 6 cars behind you and you're not exactly sure if they're coming in the pit or not, or they're not sure if you're going in the pit or not. It can end up being a pretty nasty situation here. So definitely holding my breath a little bit for that. It is going to be a place again too, right, Charles, where you can make up some time. If you accidentally forget to uncheck your tires or put a little too much fuel in, or God forbid pull a Wilkie or a Thompson and put too little fuel in and end up not making the end of the race, or generally what I do is lose about 4 seconds thinking about my pit stop as I come in for the first 2 laps, and then I screw up my pit stop and then lose another 3 when I'm angry coming out. And that's kind of how it happens. But hopefully these guys are a little bit cleaner at that. Mario Ras still leading in the front here. Got a bit of a battle in the back here. Jackson Morley, I believe that is Jimmy Becca, actually back in the race here. So having a bit of troubles in the 311 here today, but hopefully he can put it together. The 92 looking like he's trying to make up some positions from that earlier incident that he had. Lipback going to let him have that one pretty simply. So not too much fighting on that one, at least quite yet. Back up front though, we have just a battle that's just won't end here, and that's kind of some point, isn't it? It's every lap you're going to end up battling into this corner. You're going to end up nose to tail. This place just seems to kind of promote that.
Yeah, as we're watching, as we have the back markers are actually pitters that just came out. That's Bali coming out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's just ahead of this lead group with Roz in front. And so we're going to see how these guys and where they're going to try and make this move around, because obviously this is a very, very treacherous little maneuver here. I think we're going to maybe try and get the first guy, if he can get a run, he's going to try and make the move in 5. If not, they're just going to kind of lay back, which I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to lay back as Lipback moving out of the way. So very, very sportsmanlike by by Boley there, is to allow them to just work their way through, and he'll just tack on to the end there behind the 2 car of Daniel Case and continue on with his race and allow these guys to continue on with theirs. So nice bit of sportsmanship there by Boley. As we got, looks like Mario Ross coming into the pit. So he is the first of our pitters from the front. So this is game on at this point. So once again, we just talked about how you can win or lose your race just with your pit stop. Obviously, you want to come in carrying as much speed, but not too much speed. You want to make sure that your fuel number is right. Your tires are turned off. You will not need tires during the course of this race. and then making sure you get a smooth transition back out onto the track as quickly as you possibly can. The one thing we don't want to see is black flags. We seem like we have one every race, but so far so good. Nobody has done that. And now Ross out of the pits, 19:07 stoppage time, 40.4 for his cone-to-cone time. So we'll see as the rest of the lead group comes in, we'll get to get a good look at his versus theirs. Obviously, he's going to come back out. He's got an 11-second gap behind Zippy Salmon, so got some nice clean air. Which, but necessarily no drafting help. So he's just got open track. He's going to be able to work through. Hopefully there are no any kind of back markers in that group as well. As I think everything's going okay. Lip back in the pits now as well. And now we got Daniel Case coming in. So the last car there.
Sorry, I was muted.
That's okay.
My bad.
The last car there, the lead group, has made his pit stop. So we got the P1 and P7. Verone coming in as well from leading in P8, leading the Spec 2 category. We did say you had a back marker there as Meaden. So that was one of our earlier pitters. So you can see the gap that he had a pretty good pit stop, obviously, in comparison to Bully that came in at the same time. So able to get in and out a little bit quicker than the rest of them. Verone, we're going to get a look here. Verone's time was very quick. So I think Ross may have taken on a little too much fuel. Verone 12.6 versus Mario Ross 19 flat. So basically a 5-second gap between those two cars that Ross is going to be deficient and 5 seconds longer. So I think Ross may have just taken himself out of the chance to win this race, but we'll have to see what the rest of the drivers up front do.
Yeah, a long pit stop like that, like we were saying, is always going to hurt you pretty bad. And it's one of those things, you can put all the effort you want and be as fast as you can of all the racecraft in the world. If the pit stop doesn't work out, it's kind of all for naught. And that's kind of how it works out. As we're going to go side by side here into T1 lap traffic in front here, making things a little bit more difficult. The 78 going to come up the middle and try to monopolize on that maybe a little bit of confusion as to what's going on up front with that lap driver there. Aeronom's going to file back in behind Andrew Moran, keep it safe for now. So they're going to catch up to this lap driver in a pretty nasty spot here, aren't they, Charles? This isn't necessarily going to be the easiest way to get by for 5, 6, 7, 8 cars here to get around someone. And you can't just delete yourself, can you? I mean, you could take the option, just go into the grass. This is a simulator, but in real life, that's not generally what you want to do. He's going to take that perfect opportunity there to get out of the way. Very, very well done. Lots of clapping there for that one. That was perfect. So really, that can be a lot more stressful than it looks. You think, hey, why isn't the guy just getting out of the way? It's not that easy sometimes. It really isn't. You've got to pick your moment. You've got to pick your time, as well as you're under a lot of pressure. You really don't want to ruin the race for these people, and it can be really stressful. So really good job there as we see Kane Lasky coming in. I believe Jorg Mani is also in. Andrew Moran is coming in now too. So keep an eye at the bottom of your screen there, viewers, at those lap times. You can see them clicking off there, and we will see just how, the pit times. We'll see just how quick that they do end up in and out of the pit here, and where Mario Ras is going to funnel in once they do.
Yeah, this is going to be the indicator of how quick or slow Ross's time was, as we've got Moran already out 13.3. 14.8 for Lasky. Jorg Mani with a 14.0.
Yeah, lost a bunch of time
as well. So Ross 5 seconds, 4 seconds. It's going to stabilize probably around 3-ish. He looks like he's still picking up a little bit. So as these cars get back up to pace, but he's going to be out of the draft range. 2.7 back of Jorg Mani sitting there in P6. So Ross has got his work cut out for him here at the end of the race, as
9 minutes left.
With just under 9 minutes left here. Moran in the lead, Lasky 1 second back, Jorg Mani 2 seconds back, Ross 2.8 back.
Leaders in.
We now have Nom, Jake.
Jason Chen looked like he took some dirt there.
Yeah, Jason Chen in as well.
Like he's
don't see any flags, so it looks like that was all clean for Nom and Chen. So now Jake Williams' last car yet to pit. So he's done a good job of of just saving some fuel, and has managed to hang out and going to get another lap out of this. We'll see if he is able to go one or two more, but that's going to make his stop quite a bit shorter there, as Nam and Chin both come out. 12.0 for Chin, 12.3 for Nam.
He skipped him.
So quicker than the guys that came in just a lap before. And so now they've got themselves a couple of seconds there on Andrew Moran. So this group is slowly breaking up as they come into their pit stop. So now it's up to Jake. Jake is on the clock there. You see Chin just getting a good run out side by side as they come out.
Excellent.
That was just enough, and Chin taking that position over Nam. So 2/10 there. So now it's up to Jake Williams, and this is his shot at glory, or he's the GOAT, right? So he's got his work cut out for him here as the last car.
All down to this pit stop for sure. Is he coming in? He's not coming in. So he's going to go do another lap. This really might help him out a lot. Obviously, there's going to be, we'll get a little replay here quickly and have a look. I believe that's Michael O'Connell, Chris Murakami, maybe Daniel Salmon. Are we on right now? Yes, we are. So he's going to try to look up the inside here on McConnell. And just a little bit of confusion in the mid corner there. So maybe a bit of a clumsy pass there from Daniel. He was looking, he had it set up. It was there, but not really sure McConnell responded right. And then they just kind of didn't communicate with each other correctly mid corner. And unfortunately are going to end up making contact there. But back up front here, Aeronam, Jason Chen side by side into T1. Jake Williams going to take another lap, so done a really good job of spreading that fuel out, and I think he's going to have a fairly good strategy there because these guys are fighting. They're passing each other. Unless that draft is working down the front straight, J.K. Williams is most likely going to be clicking off slightly faster lap times than these two that are battling each other, and that might actually give him a bit of a gap here. We won't see, obviously, here for another lap or so, but these guys still fighting here, and what they should be thinking about is trying to get, as they need to be clicking off the fastest lap times they can handle right now, and that means drafting each other down the straightaway and not fighting each other into corners, as J.K. Williams taking that shallow line here into the pit lane. This is all going to be about his pit stop, so we'll keep an eye out here on Aeronam Jason Chen, see where he files out. Charles.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the money stop for Jake Williams, as he is getting his fuel onboarded. As the two drivers come off down the back straight, they'll be coming around. They'll have a lot of momentum as they work their way around the final corner back to the front straight. 11.5 stoppage time for Jake Williams as those cars make their way around to the front straight. So we're going to see, he's going to be able to out there, and he's got to get that speed built up. 3 seconds, the gap closing. Are they going to be able to get up there in time? They're going to get within that 1 second to be able to close it down. I think they are.
Looks like it.
So Jake Williams,
pit stop.
1.1 is the gap back to Aeronam. So now these guys have their work cut out for them. Obviously, we know Jake is very, very fast in these cars. So they're going to have to come up with a hot lap of all hot laps here to reel him in, as slowly closing down a little bit more as Jake is trying to get his tires back up to temp as they work their way down heading into turn 5. So Nam now, half second. So they've closed the gap. So now we've got 3 cars in front. Moran closing it down as well. So he's only 1.3 behind Chin. So he is running some good laps as well. He's trying to close that gap. If these cars up front keep fighting like they've been doing, then we're going to have a 4-car battle, and it's just going to continue to grow there as Lasky's running well as Monty, and Mario Ross has got a bigger hill to climb, 3.2 behind Monty in P7, and with Antonio Reese on his tail a half second back. So he's got to do a little mirror driving as well here for the next couple of minutes. On board here with York Monty. My mic was muted again.
Sorry, guys. I was going to say there, J.K. Williams, 27-second pit stop. So that's versus, I believe, the slowest one behind that would be about 25 seconds. Yep. So he did lose a bit of time there, and that's why Aeronam is in touching distance here to J.K. Williams now. Jason Chen also in tow there. So it could really be anybody's race at this point. And I should mention again here, these races can't be put on without drivers and viewers like you. We are taking, if you look in our chat here, there are some links that you can get in touch with and donate so that we can continue to put these races on here. So if you're a driver out there that loves this, you like these broadcasts, you like to hear us every week, it adds a layer of reality to everything here, I think. And it would be great if we could get some sponsorship for the rest of the FF and the SRF season. And we can't do it without you guys. We really obviously cherish our sponsors around here, and it would be a shame to lose the WW for a season. So if you're out there and you're listening, you hear this, get in touch with Stevie, get in touch with us, and we can keep putting these things on for you. But back up front here, Aeronom, second place, Jake R. Williams in first. Hard fought battle here. Aeronom putting in a 1:15.1. Not too bad. So, I mean, that's a pretty fast lap time compared to the driver in front. So he's definitely catching him at a pretty rapid pace here. He's going to have a chance for sure to make something happen here by the end of the race. The question is, will he, and will Jake R. Williams put out a shoulder and stop it?
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. Is just going to be when's he going to make the move? He is in position to make that move. It's just a matter of when he's going to try and take the opportunity as they work their way down into turn 5. Again, Jason Chen still closing the gap up. He's going to make this a 3-car battle for the last couple of laps, as Moran is just not able to answer back. 1.8 the gap up to Chen in third for Moran. Lasky's following as well, 2.7 behind in fifth. Yorgmani's managing to close the gap down, I believe, a little bit to Lasky. Obviously leading the comfortable margin there in the Masters class over Antonio Reese. As we're down, I believe we're going to be 2 to go this time by. So here we go. So 2 laps left, Josh, and just looks like it's about to get really racy in here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is when you want to make your move here pretty soon. Aeronom looks like he's probably going to be pretty content where he is at the moment. I think if I was 2 laps, I was Aeronom, Jason Chen, probably be sitting right where I was for now, just trying to make sure that I'm looking for that place where I'm going to make that pass, maybe start trying to intimidate a little bit if I could, but I don't think now is necessarily the time to jump and make that move yet, especially because of that straightaway, right, Charles? If you end up in front, you're sort of a target on this track at the end. You know, that last big sweeper, that right-hand sweeper, you can just kind of set up your competitor there if you get it right. And it looks like, wow, a little bit of a mistake there from Jake R. Williams. Almost caught out Aeronom there, looking up the inside a little bit, but decided better of it. But Jason Chen getting a front row seat here, able to kind of just take a look at what's going on. Where am I going to make this pass? Where are the weak points in these 2 drivers? Not many out there, is there, Charles?
No, there's really not. And yeah, I think the answer to the question is you want to get the good run here out of the final corner and set yourself up for basically a photo finish pass there, as you see Williams starting to do the weave, trying to break the draft there to the car behind as white flag down, and we are 1 lap to go here. 3-car battle up front between Jake Williams. Aeronom going to look to the inside at turn 1, make the pass. He's got it halfway done. Is he going to be able to get cleared? It looks like he is able to almost get it cleared. Not quite enough as Williams fights back on the outside. Jason Chen choosing Nom's car to follow as Williams gets the position there in turn 1. Some lap traffic ahead. Hopefully that's not going to be a big deal as we see Daniel Verone coming into the pits. Guess that means that not enough fuel on board. So we'll have to come in and get a splash as we're on through turn 5. Working our way around through 6 and 7. Still Jake Williams, followed by Aeronom, followed by Jason Chen as they head their way through 8. And then they run out of 9 as we've got that slow car in front. And that's Boley there in the front of the field. And going to move over.
He's a good driver. He'll get out of the way. Yeah,
he's
good. He knows what he's doing there.
He's going to block off a pass there into the final corner. So it's going to be the run out as Williams is still with a good run by Nom. Is he going to have enough as they work their way down to the start-finish line? I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to pull out. Oh, not quite. Jake Williams is going to get the win by 0.06 of a second. So basically a car length between him and Aeronom. Jason Chen is going to round out your podium position. Moran, Lasky, York, Monty, Ross, Case, Reese, and Murakami will cross the line. That'll be your top 10. So great battle there at the end. Obviously, we went from 7 to 3 during the pit stop cycle as these cars work their way through. As you see Murakami, another little battle here. This is going to be Daniel Salmon.
Ooh, Salmon getting one at the end.
Hang on and get Spec 2 victory here in P12 overall. So Zippy going to take over the Spec 2 class victory. So great job by Daniel there, and he's going to be trailed by
good work.
Gassis and McConnell. So, yeah, great battle there, Josh. As we saw a nice battle there at the very end, but just not enough of a run for Nom.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that pass Jake R. Williams made there, I believe it was into T2, was the key pass of the race right there. He fought, or sorry, it wasn't a pass. The defense that he put up after that T1 pass and holding that outside line. You can see he chose after that inside line there to kind of go wide, gather a bit more speed down to that run into T2, able to hold that inside that you really can't defend against if you're on the inside solid enough there, and was able to hold it out until then. So very key defense and key defense on that one pass there, and some great driving. And Daniel Salmon picking up an S2 victory. Maybe we'll even get to talk to him there. It's been a little while for sure, but great running there for sure. I actually missed who the Masters driver was there. That's my fault. So much going on. Jorg Manny. Well, there you go. Jorg Manny. I probably could have guessed that. I think if you'd have asked me to put money on it, I would have said Jorg Manny. He's got the speed, man. He's got the speed in the Masters class, in the Vs, in the FFs, and in the SRFs as well. So Masters drivers putting it together for sure. And definitely got a bunch of good driving out there, man, today. Wow, what a good race.
Yeah, very good race. All right, cool. So getting a little bit of inside information there from Guido. Panic has been canceled for today, so we'll continue on with our normal shenanigans. So let's get our race results up, and we'll go through those. Josh, I'll take the start of this, and we'll pass it off to you.
Sure.
As soon as everybody, there we go. So Jake Williams, your race winner today over Aero Nom. Jason Chin finishing in third. There's your podium. Andrew Moran just off in fourth. Kane Lasky in fifth. York Monty, P6 Masters class victory. Mario Ross finishing in seventh. Daniel Case finishing in eighth. Antonio Reese, P2 in the Masters in ninth. And Chris Murakami rounds out your top 10 and your podium in the Masters.
Yeah, and then we have Jackson Morley in 11th place. In 12th, we have Daniel Salmon wins out the S2 category in P12. In 13th, we have Alan DeGassis. 14th, Michael McConnell. In 15th, Jeff Wubker. Daniel Veron is in 16th. 17th is Paul Jackson. Michael Nelson is going to be 18th. Stephen Adams is 19th. A new driver, I believe, with us, so welcome. Dustin Maiden as well, new driver to the FFs and the Weekend Warriors. Welcome, Dustin, in 20th. Good job out there. Jimmy Lappick, I believe, is also new. 21st place. Raphael Boley from our V races, I believe, seen a bunch of times there, getting 22nd today. 23rd, David Lehman. 24th, Jim Brewster. Tortello, a little bit of attrition out there, taking flight, actually, all four off the ground in 25th place. In 26th, we have Mark O'Connell. 27th, Stevie Ray. 28th, Daniel Calcutt. And I believe that's going to be our final finisher for today. There was a 29th driver, but did not take the start.
Yeah, that's it. So we now that we have the race done, we have a couple of interviews to do. We've got our P3 podium sitter, Josh. If you want to take Mr. Jason Chin, bring him in, and then I'll pick up Jorg after that. As we'll wait. If you want to go ahead and do the interview, we can bring him down.
I'll drag him down right meow. There we go. Hi, Jason. Pretty awesome race out there, man. We used to be battling back and forth pretty good a few seasons ago. I think you probably got my number now. You're ripping out there, and it was a really great race. You were able to come home with a podium. How'd it feel out there today?
Thank you. Yeah, it was really good fighting with you in seasons past as well. This race, it was everyone was very close on pace. If you look at the gap in qualifying, it was like, I don't know, it felt like the top 10 were covered by like 4/10 or something. And then in the race, it was like really close. I don't know how long the front train was before the pit stop, but like I could just see like there's just cars not ending in my rearview mirror and relative as far as I could see. And I guess I qualified well. I put together a nice lap that I happened to have draft for a large part of it, and also hit my lines pretty well, so I qualified pretty well. And I was kind of expecting to slip back in the race a little bit, but that didn't really happen. I think some of the faster guys like Arrow and Jake especially, he feels saved a lot. He preferred to be in the back until like right before the pit stop, where I made some move forward, I assume. But for me, my strategy was I prefer to stay near the front. I think it's safer up front. With how strong the draft is in the back, you really have to start to lift early before braking zones to not like rear end people. And I just wanted to be hopefully like away from that potential happening. I almost ran in Mario like on one of the, maybe felt like lap 4 or 5 or something. It's just like the field bunching up more than you expect, and like that kind of thing could happen. But
yeah, I think you make go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Also wanted to be the front because there's, I believe, 2 points or something for like having led a lap. So it's like, yeah. And I was surprised that I could hang on mostly, but after the pits, Arrow and Jake were just faster. I was just barely hanging on to their draft, pushing as hard as I could, and was hoping for them to tangle and for me to go through, but didn't happen. They raced really well. So congrats to the two of them for top 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up a couple good points there, kind of staying up front. It's a little bit of comfort up there, maybe. The mid-pack can be a little bit like a knife fight back there, and I think we both know that. Exactly. when you're in S2 and you're in the mid-pack, not only are you fighting your S2 drivers, but you're also fighting the S1 drivers that aren't quite as fast and maybe don't have the same racecraft as some of the guys up front. And it is a real knife fight back there. It can be a little bit comforting to be up front with people that you know are going to be predictable, do predictable things, and not hack the bone, so to speak, on you into every corner. It can be a little bit comforting for sure. But excellent pace out there you're showing, Jason. And we really got to thank you for kind of stepping up and taking a bit of control of the FF drivers and that league a little bit there. Hopefully we can find some sponsorship and stuff here for the rest of the season. We're trying to pump it as hard as we can, and of course today Slow Motion Broadcasting taking the full sponsorship on the race, and hoping we can drum up some more interest here and keep doing these races every week, because we love doing them, Jason. We love watching you guys out there. A great race around Summit Point. Is there anybody you'd like to thank here before we let you go?
Before I thank anyone, I just wanted to point out that I noticed that there was another car running the rookie on board livery. I think it was Raphael.
There is, yeah. You're gonna have to change yours now, by the way. You're not a rookie anymore.
Like, from afar, and I was like, is that livery what I think it is? It's like,
it's confusing for us.
And, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you got to get a new livery. Hit up Tom Wendt at TW3 Paints. He does amazing paint work, and tell him I sent you. Probably hook you up.
And getting on to the actual thanks, first of all, just to thank Stevie for hosting the league, and for everyone who races regularly, part of the community. And then secondly, I want to thank you guys, Slow Motion, for covering this race, and hopefully it was a fun one to watch and cover.
Yeah, it always is. Honestly, if you could see me at home here, Jason, I got a big smile on my face doing this every week. If I can't be on track, watching you guys do this is one of my favorite things to do, and to call it, honestly, it is one of my favoriteest things to do in the whole world. I leave this chair afterwards just buzzing and bug my wife for 20 minutes about how awesome it was. So it's a really good time, man. We love seeing you guys out there, and hopefully we can continue doing it. So thank you for all your support. Thanks for taking over, the FFs there, trying to organize some things a little better. That's great. Thanks so much. And you got to change that livery. No, you're not a rookie anymore, Jason. You got to get something a little more pointy and stuff looking there for sure.
All my other cars, I also run with like seasoned driver, or like it's kind of a theme now.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's up to you at the end of the day, but definitely think about it a little bit. I'd like to see a nice pointy one on there for sure. Something cool. Hit up Tom for sure.
Okay. All right. You guys for covering. All right.
Always, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. And good driving today, man.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
And that was Jason Chen, P3 overall, third in S1. And let's bring in our Masters class winner and P6, I believe, overall today. And that is Mr. Jorg Monty. So we'll drag him down. Jorg, welcome into the booth. Congratulations today. P5 overall, is that correct? I know you won the Masters class, and that's why we're in here for the interview. So I believe it was P5 overall, and so great, P6, so P6. Thank you very much, Guido. So great job today, and welcome into a new season of Formula Fords.
First of all, thank you SMB for sponsoring that race. That was fantastic. Thanks
pleasure.
a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah,
We love you.
You know, we this is my weekend's not complete without getting on here and talking about you guys out there racing these cars. So
That's right. It feels weird.
Very happy to do it, and you know, we'll hopefully this will be short lived, and we'll find some good sponsorship, and we can continue to broadcast these races. But Jorg, talk about your race. It was a pretty nice battle up front. You know, for most of the race, and then obviously, as usual, pit stops kind of crawled in and kind of broke up the front group.
Yeah, especially my draft, yeah. I came up a little bit too late with braking, so I moved a little bit too much forward, so I had to reverse, and that was enough time not to get back to the pack. I tried everything to go back to Kane. We had similar speed, and so I said, okay, I'm just trying to do the same speed all the time. Maybe he makes a mistake, but otherwise it was kind of thrilling sometimes, turn one especially the dive bomb from Kane he did from far back. If I wouldn't have watched the mirrors, I would not be talking to you today. Otherwise,
yeah.
Otherwise, I survived, and I believe even had no inks. I think that was great if that is the case. So I like that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So yeah, it's you know, it's we talked about this during the race a little bit, that sometimes we get on these big draft tracks, and the Spec 2 guys can hold their own and go up and challenge the big boys here and there during the course of these. But when we get to these smaller tracks like Summit Point, it just seems like the Masters guys have this thing figured out and can get out here and race once again cleanly and quickly. And then you guys are up there putting on a show and challenging for overall wins. And that was another thing with you. And, you know, Antonio was up there for a while, got into some trouble. Chris Murakami as well. So all three of you guys were up there, you know, battling inside the top 10 for parts of this race. And it's always good to see when this when the older guys get out there and can do some fighting with some of the quickest of the quick.
Yeah, we tried to work together actually this week a little bit. I mean, Antonio and I, we did even some stuff on the Spec Ford. And yeah, we all drove the same setup actually in the Summit Point race just before. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I hope sometimes you're going to see 1, 2, 3 on the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, that may be when I retire from broadcasting, if we can get we get 3 Masters on the top of the board. That just because nothing could get any better than that, Antonio.
Yeah, except if we. That's fine. That's fine. Just call me Antonio as well. I just don't speak Italian. But otherwise, maybe we. Hey, Chris. I mean, Guido. No, but it was a lot of fun. It was actually quite fair, but tough, but fair. That was okay. I like that race. I'm not so into Summit Point actually, but I like some of the corners. I really like that, quite challenging. I struggled a lot during the week a little bit for the last corner. That's until I figured it out. But in the race, it was fine.
There you go. It's just practice making perfect.
Sometimes it does, yeah. But in the Spec Ford, let's see. I haven't done much practice in the Ford, so let's see what's going on there.
Jorg, well, once again, congratulations to start off the season with the class victory, and we'll let you take a moment and hand out some thanks, and then we'll let you go and get ready and do some perfect practice for next week.
Yeah, let's see. And thanks a lot to you guys, especially for that broadcasting. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate that. You're doing an awesome job in commentating as well. I'm always watching and listening to you guys after I'm done when I have my dinner later on. So it makes a lot of fun still. And I hope I can still do that for many, many years to come.
There you go.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. My pleasure, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much for stopping in, and we'll let you go, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Good night. Till later then, maybe. Let's see.
Yep. We'll see you soon. Yep.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And there was our Masters winner, York Monty. We do have Zippy in there. You want to bring him in, Josh?
Yeah, we got one more. You know what? It's been a while since we've talked to Daniel Zippy. I'll grab him and bring him in here.
All right.
Daniel. Howdy, wellity then. It's been a little while, my friend. 6:59. Daniel Salmon ends up getting the S2 victory today. So great job with the new paint job out there, man. Good to see you. What do you have to say? How was it out there?
I got to be honest, Josh. I've got no idea what paint job I've got on, so I'll take your word for that one. It's been.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's been a while. Thanks. I've got no idea what it is. I'll just take your word for it. But no, it was definitely good fun, and I enjoyed the race start as always. I'm definitely quite aggressive out of the box, and enjoyed trying to make some ambitious passes, but clean. I do apologise for that incident I had catching up with me and me, Alan. Chris got away scot-free, and McConnell, he got caught in it as well. I do apologise for that. That's a little bit of a whoops. I'm going in there and I couldn't decide, okay, am I going for it? Am I not going for it? All right, I've got to run. I'll go for it. It's near the end. And I got to say, without McConnell and, Murakami and Degassis fighting in front, there's no way I would have got that. Like when Daniel Veron came out the pits at the same time, I'm like, there's no way. Like he's had no draft. There's no way. And then he had to put on the last lap. And I'm like, golden. Thank you very much. I'll take it.
Yeah, not an easy one. You got to take those opportunistic chances around here for sure. There only being a couple passing opportunities around this track for sure. Real hustle out there. Lots of good racing up at the front. But, we're looking for sponsors and everything this year to get the rest of the season going. Daniel, are you going to be around for the rest of the FFs here? Are you busy? Or are we going to see you on track for the whole thing?
I don't know. It's still the same as always, Josh. If it's a good track, by a good track, I mean, is it like a princess approved track? Then I'll likely come out like Snetterton next to the SRF. It's a 200. I don't even know if I know that track. I know I've got it, but I come out in a more casual kind of approach. I found it's the weird thing about iRacing and just and stuff in general. Like yourself, you've competed. I remember when you competed, actually absolutely dominated in S2 and absolutely rightly so got promoted to S1. If ever there was a reason for you to be promoted, that was it. And I remember watching you, certainly when I've done officials as that as well, is when you get more like invested in it, all of a sudden it becomes harder to enjoy it. So if you just drop in and do it casually and you just come in with a, whatever it is approach, it's so much more fun. And I think that's something which I've found, really helped. I mean, do I practice for 2 hours before the race? No, I haven't got the patience for that. Do I go in and qualify and that's practice? Yep. Does it work for me? Sometimes. But for me, that made it more enjoyable. But again, I do apologise to the guys who I got caught up with on there. But I definitely had a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Yeah, it's obviously different approaches from everyone for sure there, and taking it a little bit more lighthearted, I think, is probably a good idea, especially if one is getting frustrated about things. That's some good advice there. This is supposed to be fun, and if you're out there grinding too hard, maybe it's time to change cars, or maybe it's time to just kind of relax a little, not worry so much about your position. But good to talk to you again, Daniel. Nice win today. Is there anybody you'd like to thank here before we let you go?
I'm trying to think. I'm going to thank you guys for putting on the show. Obviously, it's hard to get sponsors for any series, and I can definitely understand that. I mean, we know what I do, we know what you guys do, and it's a tough market, and certainly to find sponsors as well, it's challenging because realistically, the outreach, you're not really. Yes, you are sponsoring, but it's not like you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you're going to sponsor this and get 1,000 orders. It's not that kind of market, and we can understand that. It's more sort of the community coming back behind. I got to say, the Weekend Warrior is an absolutely fantastic community as well. Not just the Formula V, the 1600 and the DSRF, one of the longest going as well. And certainly there's very good reason I've stayed out of running leagues. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of energy, and a lot of patience. And I don't have patience. We know that. So power to the guys as well. Like it had a little bit of wheel to wheel with Stevie. That was good fun. It was definitely short-lived. I would have enjoyed having a little bit more of a battle with him. Indeed, Jim Bruce's home track as well, for those who didn't know. He lives just down the road from Summit Point. But no, I'll give you guys a shout out. Josh, I do hope you're doing well. I did see a post the other day. I'm hoping you're doing all right.
Yeah, things are great, man. Yeah, same with you. Yeah. Right on, man. Cool. Well, it's great to talk to you again, Daniel. Hope things are going really well for you too, and we'll see you out on track some more, man. Have a good one.
You too, bud. You too. Thank you very much.
Take care. And that was Daniel Salmon, S2.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was-
sorry,
that
Charles.
was-
I think that's
No, I
pretty
was
much
saying
gonna. Yep,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Weirdest Canadian accent I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's definitely weird Canadian accent there for sure. He's a bit of an import, I believe. Daniel Salmon. Been a while since we talked to him, but awesome race out there today for sure. Summit Point, round 1 of the 1600s Weekend Warriors here. And as we continue to mention, we can't do these races. We can't put them on without viewers and drivers like you out there. We want to continue putting these on every week. It's a blast for us to do. So if you're out there, you need, you'd like to donate, you'd like to take a race, sponsor one of our races, please have a look in the chat there. There will be some links. Get in touch with me, get in touch with Stevie, and we can direct you in the right place for sure. I believe our next round is going to be at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. One of my favorite tracks. I may jump into that one. If I'm not in the commentary booth, I think I will probably jump in and race there because I love that track. It's been a little while since I've been in this car too, so I got to kind of get out there and see if I can push my weight around a little bit. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Mosport, CTMP, Canadian Tire, fantastic racing track. One of the toughest tracks to learn, but once you figure out how to make it work, it's just a blast to drive. It doesn't matter what car you're in. So yeah, looking forward to that. Don't forget, we've got SRFs coming up in about an hour's time from Snetterton. So
Nice.
be looking for that as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we have a bunch of stuff coming up here on SMB as well. We have our SRG shows. We have American Muscle Series, as well as the Weekend Warrior stuff as well. And hopefully we'll be putting on more of those in the future. Some more stuff coming up as well there. We have a Ken E-Step Memorial Race coming up in May. There is another round added, actually, to our Grand Prix Tour as well. So we'll be doing 2 final rounds there as well. So keep yourself locked on SMB here, and we will continue to bring you some of the best shows and best esports racing we can bring you on the iRacing service and on YouTube. Perhaps here, Charles, I'll let you finish up if you have anything left to say before we shut her down here. And I think that's going to be it for us at the Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, I think I've said as much as I need to say. Josh, let's close it out, man.
Excellent. Right on. So on behalf of myself and Charles Boshell, as well as our producer, Guido Marzucci, doing all of the pictures and sound for you out there, we're going to say goodbye for this one, and we'll see you on round 2 of the Ray Esports Weekend Warriors.